The dense forest is filled with towering trees, their leaves rustling gently.
Alibaba stands in a clearing surrounded by chopped logs, holding an axe mid-swing. His expression is focused as he chops a log on a wooden stump. The wooden handle of the axe, veins visible and dirt smeared on his fingers. Alibaba pauses mid-swing, turning his head slightly, his gaze fixed on the distant mountains, as faint voices echo through the forest.
The towering mountains loom in the background, partially obscured by trees. The faint sound of voices seems to emanate from their direction.
Alibaba steps cautiously through thick underbrush, his axe resting on his shoulder as he moves toward the source of the voices.
The massive rocky cave entrance comes into view, surrounded by moss-covered stones and tangled vines. The area appears mysterious and foreboding.
Alibaba crouches behind a thick bush near the cave entrance, peering cautiously at the scene ahead, his expression tense and curious.
40 masked thieves clad in dark cloaks gather near the rocky cave entrance, their faces obscured.
Breaking news.
The leader's hand raised mid-gesture, fingers spread wide. The leader's lips move as he utters the magical words, his face partially visible under the shadow of his hood. The massive rocky cave door rumbles as it slowly slides open.
Alibaba eyes widen, his face filled with a mix of awe and fear as he watches the cave door open.
The masked thieves begin to enter the dark cave one by one, their cloaks swaying with each step as they disappear into the shadows. The cave entrance now fully open. The shadows inside seem to pulse with an ominous presence.
Alibaba, still crouching, waits nervously as the last thief disappears into the cave. His grip tightens on the axe handle.
The cave door slides shut with a loud rumble, sealing the thieves inside. The forest returns to an eerie silence.
Alibaba stands cautiously near the now closed cave entrance, looking around to ensure the thieves are gone.
Breaking news.
The massive rocky cave door rumbles open once more, dust rising as the dark interior is revealed. A wide view of the rocky cave entrance framed by dark stone walls as the door slowly swings open, revealing a glimmer of light from within. Inside the cave, a breathtaking treasure trove of gold coins, sparkling jewels, and
Alibaba stands near the entrance of the cave, his posture upright, gazing in awe at the treasure trove before him. His hands rest at his sides, his dark brown eyes reflecting the shimmering light of the treasure. His lips are slightly parted in astonishment. Of a pile of gold coins and sparkling jewels, the light glinting off the shiny surface. Hand of Alibaba carefully picking up a small handful of gold coins from the pile. Alibaba stands amidst the treasure, holding a small handful of gold coins in one hand, looking around the cave with a composed expression. A single gold coin by the shimmering light, showing its intricate design and polished surface.
The treasure trove from a low angle, showcasing the dazzling array of gold coins.
Alibaba approaches the cave entrance, his posture slightly hunched as he carries the... Alibaba whispers the magical words, the faint glow of light reflecting off his face.
The cave door begins to close slowly, the treasures fading from view as the rocky surface slides back into place. The small, dusty village is shown with simple clay and wooden homes. The setting sun casts long shadows and bathes the landscape in a golden hue.
Kasim stands in the village square, his stocky frame tense, fists clenched, and deep-set brown eyes glaring as he listens to the news of Alibaba.
Kasim, deep-set brown eyes narrowing and lips pressing together in an expression of intense jealousy. Kasim strides quickly through the village, his medium-length black hair disheveled, his gaze fixed ahead, ignoring the villagers around him. Kasim rushes past a small market stall, the vendor and goods blurred in the background as his figure remains in sharp focus.
The sun sets lower on the horizon, casting an orange and pink glow over the landscape, with the village in the distance.
He approaches the rocky entrance of the treasure cave, his stocky frame framed against the jagged rocks. Hand of Kasim pressing against the rocky surface of the cave entrance. His Kasim stands at the cave entrance, his face lit with greed as he gazes into the dark opening, unaware of the danger inside. The dark, narrow corridor stretches ahead, with faint glimmers of treasure visible in the distance.
The interior of the cave is dimly lit, with piles of gold and jewels scattered around.
He steps cautiously toward a pile of gold, his gaze fixed on the sparkling treasure, his posture hunched slightly with anticipation. Kasim reaches out for a shiny gold coin, his fingers trembling with greed.
The thieves emerge from the shadows, their masked faces partially illuminated by the faint light reflecting off the treasures.
Eyes of Kasim heighten in terror as he turns to face the thieves, his body frozen in place. The thieves encircle, their imposing figures blocking the faint light from the cave entrance.
The leader of the thieves, his masked face tilted menacingly, a dagger glint. A modest kitchen with simple wooden furniture, a stone hearth glowing warmly, and a closer view of the stone hearth, where a pot of water rests, steam rising gently from the surface. The glow of the fire reflects on the pot.
Alibaba stands near a wooden table, his shoulders hunched and his gaze directed downward, his expression somber. The warm light from the hearth highlights his features. Morgiana stands by the hearth, her back slightly turned to holding a ladle in one hand as she stirs the pot. Her posture is focused and determined.
Looking down at the pot as Morgiana stirs it with a ladle, steam rising and partially. Morgiana's face in profile, her bright hazel eyes focused and intense, with the warm light from the hearth casting soft shadows across her features.
Alibaba sits on a simple wooden stool near the table, his hands clasped in front of him, looking toward Morgiana with a mixture of hope and worry.
Morgiana's hands gripping the ladle as she stirs the boiling water, the steam rising.
The wooden table with a few scattered items, a small knife, a piece of cloth, and a...
Alibaba and Morgiana are both visible in the kitchen. Alibaba sits at the table to the left of the frame, while Morgiana stands by the hearth to the right, stirring the pot. The warm light fills the room.
Morgiana is seen pouring water from the pot into a smaller container, her movements precise and deliberate, with steam swirling around her.
The boiling water in the smaller container, seen from above, with bubbles rising and popping energetically on the surface.
Morgiana places the smaller container on the wooden table, her hand lingering briefly as if to ensure it is steady.
Alibaba looks up from his seated position, his eyes meeting Morgiana's with a hint of determination and gratitude in his expression. Seen from the hearth's perspective, Morgiana and Alibaba exchange a brief but meaningful glance.
The chaotic cave entrance is littered with gold and jewels. Sunlight...
Alibaba stands near the cave entrance, gripping a wooden staff tightly. His gaze is focused on Morgiana, who is positioned next to a large bubbling cauldron.
Morgiana crouches next to a large cauldron filled with boiling water, her hands gripping the sides as she prepares to lift it. Morgiana's hands are gripping the large cauldron, steam rising from the bubble.
A group of thieves is seen advancing towards Alibaba and Morgiana, weapons raised, their expressions filled with determination.
Morgiana tilts the cauldron, pouring the boiling water onto the advancing thieves. Steam rises as water cascades down, creating a chaotic scene.
The boiling water splashes onto the thieves, causing some to fall back in pain while others flee in panic. A thief, drenched in boiling water, clutches his arm in pain, his face contorted.
Alibaba swings his wooden staff with force, knocking a weapon out of a thief's hand. His stance is firm, his expression determined.
The treasure, scattered across the ground, glistens in the sunlight. Gold coins and jewels are strewn amidst the chaos.
Two thieves are seen being tied up by Alibaba, their faces showing frustration and defeat.
Morgiana stands triumphantly near the cauldron, her gaze fixed on the fleeing.
From the cave entrance, a few thieves are seen fleeing into the forest, their figures disappearing among the trees.
Alibaba and Morgiana stand together at the cave entrance, their postures relaxed but the sunlight breaks through the clouds, illuminating Alibaba and Morgiana as they stand amidst the scattered treasure, symbolizing their victory.
The village square, bustling with villagers celebrating, colorful banners swaying gently.
Alibaba stands at the center of the village square, surrounded by cheerful villagers. He holds a small golden chalice in one hand, gazing at it thoughtfully while smiling warmly. Alibaba's face, his expression calm and reflective, with his dark brown eyes gazing down at the golden chalice in his hand.
A table adorned with glittering treasures, including gold coins, jewelry, and ornate goblet.
Morgiana stands to the side of the square, her hands clasped together, looking around at the celebrating villagers with a soft smile. Her long braid rests over her shoulder.
Morgiana's face, her hazel eyes gleaming with pride and joy as she looks towards Alibaba in the distance.
Villagers dancing in a circle in the middle of the square, some clapping their hands and others a villager's hands holding a wooden tray filled with steaming pastries, with a background of cheerful villagers blurred out.
Kasim sits at a table near the edge of the square, his posture relaxed as he enjoys a plate of food. His deep-set brown eyes watch the villagers with a subdued smile. Kasim's face, capturing his introspective expression as he gazes off into the distance, a hint of regret and contentment in his eyes.
A group of children playing near a small fountain in the village square, splashing water.
Alibaba looking down at the golden chalice in his hand, with the vibrant village square. Alibaba and Morgiana standing together near a table of treasures, exchanging a few words. The villagers celebrate around them. Close-up of the golden chalice in Alibaba's hand, its intricate engravings glinting in the...
A view of the sky above the village square, clear and blue with a flock of birds flying across, symbolizing peace and freedom.